started the year thinking earnings were going to grow about 11% and change. So what's behind this ratcheting down?
We've seen this the last couple of quarters, and it's just a continuation of that trend. Companies give guidance, and they really lower their expectations when those guidance numbers come out. It seems like they're lowering expectations and then beating those lowered expectations. That's happened the last 2 quarters. In fact, for this quarter, it's been pretty negative, the guidance. For every 1 company that's given positive guidance, we've seen 5 companies give negative guidance. Wow. So that guidance number is pretty negative still. And we expect companies to once again beat those guidance numbers, but it's still far below the 11% that we saw about a quarter ago. It's down to about 4% now.
One company that looks like it might beat those estimates is LinkedIn. What's going on there?
Well, the unemployment rate is still pretty high, and people looking for jobs are now turning to LinkedIn. They update their LinkedIn profiles, they're checking it on their mobile phones, so they've got a great boost from this mobile platform. They have a great user base, they log on all the time. The latest estimates by these analysts are above the consensus. The smart estimate actually is quite far above the consensus. That predicted surprise tells us that the company is likely to beat estimates when it reports earnings this quarter.
And same story for Take-Two Interactive, right?
Yes, everyone's heard of Avatar, and that movie just did brilliantly. Believe it or not, it took 17 days for that movie to make $1 billion. Jeez. Take-Two just took 3 days. I mean, that's the kind of revenue that these games can generate, and everyone's playing them. They have an online version where they're charging a premium for players to come on. Those revenue streams are going to be fantastic for Take-Two. Expect them to beat earnings when they report this quarter.
So this Grand Theft Auto franchise is interesting, right? Because you can...
It's a moneymaker for them, yes, and they'll have 6, 7. I don't even want to talk about Grand Theft 10, right? So.
Well, on the other side, there's a couple of companies that are struggling even more than what analysts are predicting. Potash is one of those companies. The industry itself has gotten into some trouble.
It has. The potash prices are down by 50% over the last 2 years. In fact, one of the biggest players in the market is the Russian company, Uralkali. Their CEO was imprisoned by the Belarusian government. In retaliation, they increased the amount they were selling, lowered the prices drastically. So global potash prices fell even more in the last quarter or so. That's going to affect potash here. And expect them to miss earnings pretty tremendously. The smart estimate, once again, takes the best analyst estimates and the most recent ones below the consensus. So we feel that they're probably going to miss this quarter when they report.